Next on the show.
Pirates hat, oh, sorry.
Okay. Well, next on the show we have publisher of Boom newspaper. This is Boom, and it's news for and about people in the prime of their life, and they just celebrated 3 years. Welcome, Chuck Thorne, to the show.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much for being here. You just celebrated 3 years.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it seems like 30 years, and other ways it seems like 3 weeks. You know.
So how does it feel celebrating 3 years? And you have a cupcake with candles on the issue, and this was back in April.
That was in April, yes.
Okay.
We're a monthly magazine, so this would have been the 37th issue.
The 37th issue.
Yeah.
So it's a free newspaper that's available every month throughout the capital region. What are the areas?
So we go throughout Schenectady, Saratoga, Albany, Rensselaer counties, and then also the Mohawk Valley Library system distributes us all through Montgomery, Fulton, and Schoharie counties.
Okay, well tell us a little bit about Boom. Who is the target audience?
Target audience is baby boomers. Roughly people between the ages right now of 42 and 62. 44 actually and 62. Essentially, it's the generation that coined the phrase, don't trust anybody over 30, and they're starting to move into their 60s
And
now.
they're in their 60s now.
So, and we deal with topics like, anything from leisure to more serious topics like preparing for retirement, health concerns, exercise concerns. One of the stories rather in the anniversary issue was universal design. Universal design is something that's becoming very popular now, and I use the automotive industry as an example. As people are aging, mobility, strength, range of motion changes. And what the automotive industry is doing is, rather than designing for an older or a disabled audience, they're making it universal throughout everything. So it'd be things like simple things that you notice in your car: thicker steering wheels, thicker gear shifts, replacing some of the hard-to-grab knobs. So it's really making it much easier for everyone to access cars, making it more comfortable, the ergonomic support in your car. Handles that you can reach through and use your entire, so things like that.
And the term boom, does that strictly come from baby boomers?
From baby boomers.
Okay, so there's no other definition.
No,
for
there
boom.
isn't. No, there
isn't. Is that how you came up with the title Boom?
I wish I could say I came up with it. I was trying to come up with a title, and I had Boomer News, Boomer Journal, and I was all over the place. And a friend, Mike Hokenottle, and I were speaking, and I said, I'm at a loss. I don't know what the name, and he said, Boom. I said, yeah, that's it.
Boom. As simple as that, boom.
As simple as that, yeah, keep it simple.
And I'm holding up your new issue here. And what's on the cover of the new issue that you have here?
Actually, that is one of the horses. That's a rendition of one of the horses from the carousel up in Saratoga, Congress Park.
So this is getting us ready for the Saratoga season now?
Ready for the Saratoga season.
I'm ready too, by the way.
I believe you would be, yeah.
So baby boomers are very much into betting, aren't they?
I would say.
That's the main audience, pretty much.
Yes.
So do you do stories at Saratoga at all?
I've done a few stories at Saratoga. There isn't one in this month, but yeah, we've featured some of the artists that we had last year. The artist that does the Travers poster, Greg Montgomery, we did a feature story on him. And he is a baby boomer, and he's done that poster now, I believe, for 22 years. So he's been involved with NYRA on that. And we've done a number. In this month's, there's a, not directly related to the track, but ALR, the Academy of Learning in Retirement. They're based out of Saratoga. They're part of the Empire State College. And they run courses, non-credit courses of continuing learning up there.
And I know that there's a lot of local celebrities that you do features on as well. I've seen Ann Fisher in an issue.
Ann Fisher has been in there. Benita Zahn.
Benita Zahn does a feature. Is it a monthly feature that
she does? She does a monthly column for me, yeah,
okay,
on wellness.
Wellness,
I wouldn't call it a health column because she expands beyond that, but but her column is normally on wellness, and more times than not, it's age-related.
Okay, and what did she write about this issue?
This issue, she was very concerned with with everything that's been going on lately. She was concerned with the bicycle helmets and the way people don't wear them. You know, we've had a number of accidents in the last 2 or 3 months locally, and not just children. There was a woman from Troy that was killed in a bicycle accident, and she wasn't wearing a helmet. She was, I believe, 40 or 45 years old.
And for those who don't know, Benita Zahn is from Channel 13, the Channel 13 News. She's a news anchor, correct?
News anchor, health editor for Channel 13, and also does a program on
PBS.
Yes, exactly.
I've seen her on that as well. Okay. So why should somebody pick up the paper Boom?
Why should somebody? Well,
why should I pick this up?
If you have interest in, I mean, if you read, okay, I mean, we're not limited to that generation.
Because you've done an article on me as well.
And yes, speaking of local celebrities. But we try to slip in between the parent pages and the senior pages. So, I mean, if we have a community calendar in there, if you're looking for things that are going on, entertainment throughout the Capital District.
So your community calendar, you can submit events that are happening, and it's
oh, absolutely, absolutely,
and that's free as well.
And that is free.
Free is the key word.
We list everything for free. Yeah.
Okay.
We make our living through. We pay for the paper with advertising.
Right.
But you know, we do articles on preparing for retirement. You know, people that are looking for that. People that are dealing with empty nest. You know, the kids are gone. What do I do now? Again, the continuing learning, exercise, health. You know, if you have an interest in any of them, we do a monthly book review, which
and also your
which
wife
is very
involved.
popular. Actually,
your wife
she
is
does the
involved
book review.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a very popular feature. We try to focus on the age group, and we also try to focus on local authors when we can find them.
Have you gotten feedback from your paper, from the community?
Oh, every month we will
get letters
something.
to the editor?
Yes.
Cool. Very cool. So tell us about the community events section, a little more about that. What kind of events are usually in that section?
Well,
fundraisers.
You know, we try to focus on things that are happening with the not-for-profits. We also try to focus on the free concerts that are going on, especially this time of year. You've got free concerts on Sunday nights in Schenectady's Central Park. You've got music going on in Albany, and you know, this month we featured the Friday night art nights that are happening in Albany, Schenectady, and Troy. You've got First Friday in Albany. You've got art night in Schenectady tonight, and then the last Friday of the month, Troy has their night out, they call it, and similar type events where artists set up venues, there's entertainment, the shops all stay open, and it's really brought a life back to the downtowns.
What made you want to start a paper in the first place?
Well, the main reason was I was aging. I was becoming an empty nester. I was dealing with problems with either parents or grandparents in their aging. And I saw people around me that were dealing with the same problems, and nobody seemed to know where to go to get the answers. You know, how do you prepare for retirement when you're looking at a college education that you're trying to help maybe your children pay for? So in looking for those answers, I thought, you know, why not start sharing those answers? And that was really the thing behind.
Tell us about your background in journalism. How did you get involved in becoming a writer?
I have a very small background in
journalism. Very small background?
Yes, my background is really as a printer.
Oh, as a printer, okay.
Yeah. And, I don't know, about 7 or 8 years, I guess, before I started the paper, I started doing some freelance writing. I've always been attracted to writing, but I wasn't always a writer.
Okay, so you wrote for other papers before
I wrote for some magazines and papers, yes. And I also found myself through printing that I was doing a lot of technical writing. You know, I was writing the job instructions, work instructions, requests for equipment, things of that nature. And that just kind of, I thought, well, geez, if I can put 2 sentences together for a technical report, why not start writing about things that I'm interested in? So I started writing articles on sailing. Actually, my first published piece was scheduling a printing plant. It was a trade publication. But so that's really what led to it.
So what are your goals for the paper? Where do you see this paper in 3 years from now?
In 3 years, I would like to see actually more pages.
More pages?
More
You'd
pages.
like to expand it?
I don't know. One of the thoughts, that jumps a whole nother level of advertisers or whatnot. I think saturating the Tri-City area is certainly the goal, and then also having events associated with the paper, by sponsoring events and maybe health fairs and things of that nature as an aside to the paper.
What are you most proud of about Boom? What are your biggest accomplishments?
That's a difficult question. I mean, the fact, I guess, that it's out there, it's a very, I don't want to say strange feeling, but at some point in time, even if this were all to fall apart tomorrow, somebody's going to look in a library in 100 years and say, there's this publication that was focused on baby boomers. So I guess the legacy of being in print, of having a market, it's almost a surreal experience. And I don't know that that's what I'm proudest of, but it's certainly something that I'm very happy with.
Well, it seems like a great paper. What else would you like people to know about your paper that's important?
Well, where to pick it up, I guess.
Okay. Where can they pick it
our
up?
website is boompublishing.com, and we're in over 130 or 40 locations throughout the Capital District.
How many do you print up?
7,500 copies.
7,500.
Yes.
Okay. Are you looking to expand that at any point?
Absolutely, that is the goal.
Okay. And let me ask you, are you from Schenectady? Are you from this area?
I'm from the area. I grew up in Albany.
Oh, you
I've
did?
been in Schenectady for 18 years, almost 19 years.
Almost 19 years.
But I did grow up in Albany, yeah.
Okay, well, I thank you very much for bringing on the paper, talking about the paper. It's very interesting stuff
It's
here.
always good to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Thank you very much. That's Chuck Thorne. You can check out his website, boompublishing.com. So check that out.